Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Sarah and this is our very last screencast for how to use Etoys. Today we're going to be learning about animations. If any of you have ever seen a flip book where basically you have a bunch of pages and there's the same picture on each of the pages with only very slight changes, and when you flip the book, makes it look like the picture is actually moving. So that's essentially what we're going to be doing with Etoys today. So as you can see on my screen, I have my dog from our very last Etoys screencast where I was teaching you all about tests. So today we're going to have an animation with this dog wagging his tail. So the very first thing that you want to do in an animation is have your object that you want to animate, and you actually want to duplicate it. And grab something called a holder out of your supply box. So we haven't really talked about holders before, but basically holders, besides they're obviously going to be the place where our animations are going to take place, they can hold multiple objects together. So you want to take the duplicate of your dog and you want to place it inside your holder. So in this case, our holder needs to be pretty big because our dogs are pretty big. Then what you're going to do is you're going to duplicate this dog again, bring him outside the holder, and go ahead and use the repaint halo, and you're going to make a very slight change to this dog. So I'm thinking about having him wag his tail, so I'm going to make a very slight change to the dog, so the dog's tail. So it's going to be going farther up, so I'm actually going to do some erasing here. Erase the tail. And you want small changes to happen. So I want his tail to be going farther up towards his head. Right here. So all my colors were saved. I'm going to keep that and move him inside the holder. I'm going to make a duplicate of him. We're going to have this be a pretty simple animation, so he's only really going to have one major movement, which is his tail is going to go up, and then it's going to go back, and then it's going to go down. Okay. Let's see if this looks good. We might have to do some playing with it, depending, because I'm not a good artist. So yeah. We're going to duplicate this one again. I'm going to stick him in there. So as you can see, we're trying to have, keyword being trying to have a decent range of motion for these dogs so that this works well. So our tail is going to go straight up, it's going to go farther right, and then it's going to go back in the middle and then down. So we'll see if this works. Now we're going to pull up the viewer for the dog. We're going to go ahead and we're going to search here. This is the easiest way to find it. You're going to find a button that says look like. You can pull that out. It's going to make a script for the dog. Let's pull this right here. We'll move the dog over here. And instead of dog, we're going to open up, instead of dot, I'm sorry, we're going to open up the holders viewer. And we're going to find the, can actually go ahead and search it. Here we go, player at cursor. Replace that with dot. Then you're going to get holders cursor. You're going to have it increase by one. And then hopefully what's going to happen is that when we hit ticking, this is going to work. All right. Yay, it works. So as you can see, the cursor is moving from animation to animation and it's changing each time. So our dog does look a little funny though, because he's slightly angled. Yeah. So yeah, but there you go. You have an animation. It's changing very slightly and he is wagging his tail. So that's basically an animation right there. You can obviously make this a lot more detail oriented by making your changes a little bit more subtle to this particular image that you're going to be doing. But this is basically how you do it. Essentially, you're telling the cursor to increase by 1. So it's basically going from frame to frame. That's the second part of this script. And the first part, you're telling the dog to look like the player at cursor, which is a fancy way of saying picture at whatever cursor, whatever picture the cursor is currently going over right now. So I hope that makes sense, and there you go. That is how you make an animation. It has been a pleasure doing these screencasts. So hopefully you've learned a lot now that we've gotten to the end of the 6th video. We've talked about everything from how to make a project, how to save a project, the supply blocks, how to draw using the sketchpad. We've made tests and scripts. We've learned about halos. We've now made an animation, and we've also learned sliders and joysticks. So this is my 6th screencast, and I have 5 before it. So if you have any issues with Etoys that are not covered in these screencasts, there's plenty of information online, and there's also these Etoys quick guides that you can find right here that should give you some more guidance. But I hope you found my screencasts helpful, and I would encourage you, if you're rusty on any of these lessons, to go back and watch them again. So again, my name is Sarah, and this has been a wonderful experience working with you. So catch you later.